Hi, my darlings, I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're reacting to episode 13 of Apothecary Diaries, and we had a very intense fangirly episode the last time. Episode 12 nearly gave me a heart attack. Episode 11 and 12 are probably like my two favorite episodes so far, but I had like full on palpitations. My brain was in overdrive. We had a kiss, technically. It's CPR, I'm counting it, but still. And then the whole it's a large frog. Okay. Very, very intense. I'm not going to speak too long in this intro because my last couple of episodes are really long because there's a lot of discussion. There's a lot that I'm delving into in the intros and outros of those episodes. So I'm going to keep the intro here as short as possible. So without further ado, we're going to jump into episode 13 because we'll probably have a lot to discuss, especially with all the assassination attempts that have been going on, the fact that it most likely has come from the West and now involves Isla and Eileen, who we haven't seen since the Moon Fairy incident. So without further ado, let's get into episode 13. No! No!
なんだお前、足が不自由なのか
She's back. She's back. I'm not falling for this. It's her. She's back. Oh my god. She's back. Holy shit. No, that's her. Without a shadow of a doubt. It's the same hair. She's coming in as a eunuch. Wow. So she's infiltrating the palace once more. That's insane. Other than being a court lady, she's now a eunuch because she escaped as a eunuch and now she's gonna masquerade as a eunuch. I think how you say her name is Suiren. I've been trying to look up the pronunciation on Google Translate and it says Suiren or Suren, so I'm not entirely sure which one it is. I kind of lean into Suren, but I think it's Suiren. And then Shishui is, I was saying Shishui, but I think it's Shisui, which has been really hard for me to remember. So Shisui and Suiren. So I'm trying to like make sure I don't butcher these names going forward. But that's Suiren. That is hands down her. And I wonder if the leg is because of what she took in series 1 has maybe left her with like nerve damage in her leg that maybe she hasn't recovered fully from it, and that this is maybe like a consequence of this sleeping drought that she took. You don't fool me. Also, another thing I just want to highlight, you know how I've been talking about how Shisue is Lolan? All of Lolan's ladies in waiting look like her. All of them do, to some degree, to the extent that they could very easily masquerade as her and it not be noticeable. That's why there's so many of them, because half of them are most likely masquerading as her while she goes out and gallivants and does whatever she wants to do. But yeah, it's just something I noticed, especially when we saw that face leaning in and whispering something into Lolan's ear. It's all getting very tense.
どっかにいい働き口ないかな。あと半年で高級の年季明けるからさ。
Oh, so she needs a new job.
他なら縁談が来たりするけど、うちは違うからさ。
Oh, she's so worried.
なんかつてない？
Her only connections are a brothel.
今は手習い所の1期生として勉強に励んでいる。
She's doing her
高校出てから
best.
もいい仕事に就いてほしい。シャオランは幼さが残るが顔立ちは悪く
Oh,
ない。
she's so cute. But would you
何より
want her
素
to
直な
live that
性格を
life?
しつけがしやすい。やり手ババアなら欲しがるだろう。しかし妓女は生半可に進める仕事でもない。
Exactly. It's not an easy life.
最後の最後、どうしてもって時のつてかな。
何それ。
She doesn't want you to live that life.
ねえ、いい働き口知らない？何の話？ もうすぐ年季が明けるから仕事探してるんだ。
I love Xiaolan. She's so cute.
あるといえばあるかも。本当？あるというか、作りに行くというか。
You are the connection. You are the connection. You are not who you say you are.
上級妃はそれぞれの宮の中に専用の浴場を持っている。
I love Li Hua. I hope she is pregnant.
中級妃以下の妃が入る小部屋の浴場と下女たちが使う大浴場だ。
Well, you've got to keep everyone clean. Prevent the spread of disease.
下女が風呂を使えるのはそれだけでありがたいよな。シスイ、
Shisui.
ああ、早い時間のお風呂は暑いに決まってるでしょ。いつもはもっと遅い時間だから知らなくて。
ほう。
何？どうも。
She's looking at her boobs.
シスイって気痩せする方なんだなと思って。
She does hide her ample assets, doesn't she?
ねえ、シスイ、ダメだよ。湯船に入る前にちゃんと洗わないと。
Which means that's why she was picked as a consort. Her hair. We've never seen her with her hair
私
down.
もそれちょうだい。
どうぞ。
It's so cute. But she has boobies, which is why the emperor likely picked her. It's in her eyes.
目つぶってて。
Oh, I love her. She is adorable. Is this because she's never bathed herself without a servant attending to her?
シャオランは農村育ちで熱い湯に浸かる習慣がないからその方が気持ちいいんだろうな。
It's what she's used to.
こっちこっち。ダメだってば。こっちは妃専用だよ。大丈夫。入っていいし、つてはこの先にあるんだから。失礼します。
あら、新入り？
よろしくお願いします。
Oh, they're pretending to serve the mid-ranking.
これ、こういうね。
少し強めにお願い。
わかりました。
Is she basically saying that you can just waltz into any job you want?
この妃、帝のお手つきがないんだろうな。お手つきがあれば嫌がらせを警戒して見ず知らずの下女に体を触らせたりはしない。花町で姉ちゃんたちを見てきたから細かいことが気になるんだよな。
Is it the body hair that she was looking at?
糸です。
Oh, they're gonna thread the hair
こうやって糸で毛を絡め取
so
る
the
んです。
body is smooth.
お試しになりますか？
You can do it on eyebrows. I've had my eyebrows threaded before.
とりあえず様子見ね。次はいつ入るの？
いつにしましょうか？
あさってあたりでしょうか。
なるほど。こうやって普段お近づきになれない妃たちと知
For
り合
better
う。こ
opportunities.
れがシスの
Smart.
言ってたつてか。
Just waltzing on in.
この間までやってた女官が年季明けて辞めちゃったとこなんだ。その女官は中級妃の一人に気に入られて、そのつてで今は妃の実家で働いてるんだって。そっか、そういうこともあるんだ。
I wonder if this is maybe how she gains gossip as well about what's happening in the palace.
よーし、つてを探すぞー。
I love this season. We see Mama making so many friends. It's great. She's like, absolutely fucking not.
わかってます。
あら、いいじゃないの、ほんにゃ。
It's not up to you. It's up to Gyokyu.
思わぬ話が飛び出すものよ。宮中の噂。
Literally, what I just fucking said is that Lolan does it in the disguise of Shisue so that she can get information that she can leverage for her father, most likely. because I think she is being manipulated by her father to be involved in all of this. But this is how she gains vital information about important stuff ongoing and to keep herself aware of what's happening because she is masquerading as a servant and infiltrating these places where mid ranking concubines are freely gossiping with each other. I am big brain.
ここではいろんな話が聞けるんだよな。噂はとうに広まっている。男か女か、いつ生まれるのかというところまで噂されている。ちらほらとリファ様もという話が聞こえてくる。
Gossip is power.
ローラン妃も解任しているのではという噂だ。
いつも奇抜な服を着てるじゃない。でも最近めっきり外出が減ってるし。
Because it's not her.
先代から仕える高官、師匠様の娘として鳴り物入りで上級妃になったのだから。そうなると上級妃4人のうち3人がご解任か。めでたいというか物騒というか。
Everyone's vying to become the Empress, but I don't think she's pregnant. She's obviously masquerading as a servant, and the reason she hasn't been seen in public is because people might suspect that whoever's playing the role of Lolan isn't actually Lolan, and it'll cause more rumor and gossip.
ここの噂話でよく聞くのが。
あそこにいるかな。一人かっこいいカンカンが入ったんだって。見てみたいな。
It's a
どっ
girl!
かで聞いたような
And
話。
she's been here
噂
before.
で聞いたんだよね。
I wonder if Mao Mao will
新しいカン
clock.
カンが30人も増えたんだって。他国の人間を虚勢して奴隷にするところもあるんだって。そこから逃げ出したか助け出されたか。
シスイって虫にしか興味なさそうに見えて結構賢いんだな。
いいの？
Another pretty eunuch to look at.
まあ、ジンシ様ほどじゃないと思うけどね。そういえば、マオマオってジンシ様とよく一緒に。
妃の使いでね。
She's like, I don't want to remember this. I touched his frog and it was large.
考えるな。あれはカエル。カエル。
She knows damn well it wasn't a frog. Okay, they all have different ribbons, but I still can't tell who's
な
who.
んか睨まれている気がする。
質問があるんだけど。
It's like she's been
どういう
interrogated.
経緯で翡翠宮に仕えているの？
どうと言われても。
Do they maybe
人手不足の
not
翡翠宮に
like
どこにとして使わ
her
され
because
ただけ
she's
です
an
の。
outsider?
それは聞いたわ。
They might suspect that something's off with her solely because she isn't from the same region. All of them are from the same place and the same town. So they might not trust Mao Mao because they view her as an outsider. Everyone else trusts her and everyone else doesn't have an issue, but they are coming in completely new, so they might suspect that Mao Mao doesn't have good intentions. I don't know. It's just very strange. They're very hard to read.
たいのはなぜ疑り深い玉葉があなたを信頼しているかということよ。
つい呼び捨てにするほど仲が良かったのか。だったらそばにいる怪しい女官が気になるのも当然だ。
So they know Gyoku very well.
もし玉葉様に毒が盛られたら私が先に死にます。そういう役割のものと割り切っていただければよろしいかと。
But she gets away with a lot. So that probably rings alarm bells.
慣れない高級で先輩の女官がよそにばかり行っていたら寂しくなるじゃない。特にうちの末っ子の石油とあなたは同い年なんだ。
確かに。
Oh.
最近はシスイやシャオランとつるんでばかりだ。
And they're new and they don't understand what's going on.
でしたら今日湯殿に一緒に行きませんか。
湯
That's reassured them quite a bit that Mao Mao's making the effort with them because she hasn't really made an effort with them since they arrived. So I can understand that apprehension.
この子がマオマオのお友達ですか。
Another girl to be added to the group.
害はありません。多分。
Maybe she's not used to public bathing with people she doesn't know.
他にもマッサージやる子が増えたんだよ。
石油様、着替えないのですか。
着替えるわよ。
She's like, please.
恥ずかしがることないよ。おお、十分立派じゃない。立派って何よ。つつましやかな方がいいじゃない。
Is she also very busty?
私は玉葉様にお願いして宮の湯殿を借りてるの。
Oh, she doesn't want to attract attention. Oh, bless her. She also has ample assets.
塗りたくることくらいできますよね。
塗りたくるの。
はい。鶏肉のように塗りたくってください。気が緩んで口が軽くなりますから。リーシュ様、この前も見かけたけど、
Yeah.
上級妃がこっちの湯殿にわざわざ来たら周りが萎縮するんじゃ。
Like, surely she should be bathing. Oh, no.
大丈夫ですか？
She should be bathing in her own pavilion.
ああああ。もっと使える事情はいないのかと思ったけど。
Look,
まあ、
she cares
あれ
about
なら
her.
萎縮されないか。まだまだ気弱なお姫様というわけだ。
She's just a
どうぞ。
child.
ありがとうござ。
また人を化け物を見るような目でカミソリ負けしてる。新しい脱毛法試してみませんか？
Mama, you're being a bit forward. She is a high-ranking concubine. Just dragging her around like she's nothing. She's just a baby. It's the fact her parents sent her when she was so young because she started her monthlies is insane to me.
そう。
She's so
あ
young.
まりこういうのに慣れていないのでしょうか？
金剛宮ではみんなあんまり細かいことは気
So
にしません
nobody
し
took care of
その前
her.
は出家されていましたから。
リーシュ妃は幼い頃
Oh,
政治の道具として選定に嫁が
just
さ
a
れ高級に
baby.
入っ
Look
た。
how old and decrepit he
選定
is,
がな
and
くなっ
she's
て
just a
出家した後
child.
にまた妃にされて高級に戻ってきた。
I feel like they made her a concubine again to protect her so that she could leave the monastery. Because she was just a child.
よかったらお礼に冷たいジュースでも。
I really hope Lishu gets reunited with Aldua.
金剛宮にも湯殿があるはずでは。
それは
Has she been demoted? What do you mean something's there? Oh no! More supernatural elements. I thought maybe she'd been demoted at first, and I was like, wait, what? That would be public knowledge, but there's so much supernatural stuff happening this season. It's kind of hard to follow. Like, we had the ghostly stories where we didn't know if it was a ghost or if it was the new woman that had taken over from the previous organizer who had passed away, but also who was the one that had the baby that was not claimed by the emperor and was forced to stay here. So it does make you wonder because she was obviously kept in a monastery, and that was really common. When the emperor died, the women were supposed to be locked away in a monastery. They were supposed to spend the rest of their lives there, but she was just a child. She was 9 years old at the time. So to punish her to spend the rest of her existence in a monastery is just cruel and unnatural. And I think the reason the emperor decided to bring her in as a high ranking concubine was to give her some freedom and a life outside of this monastery. It's because they were seen as the wives of the emperor and they had to go into mourning for the rest of their natural existence, regardless of how old you are. But also, it reminds me of an actual Chinese empress, and it's a very similar scenario where she was a concubine to the emperor. He died, she went into a monastery, but she had also been like slyly getting it on with the son, not performing anything, but they'd formed like a close attachment. And he actually took her out of the monastery and made her his concubine. So it makes me wonder if that's where it's been influenced from, like an actual historical event. And it was very heavily frowned upon and it was very heavily discussed and talked about, and she was looked down on because of it, because again, it's almost seen as incestuous, even though she is not the mother of the current emperor, and Li Shu is evidently not the mother of the current emperor in this either. It is seen as incestuous because they are the de facto wives. They are seen to be essentially their mother. Even though they weren't the ones that actually give birth and there's no blood connection there, it's seen as incestuous because of the fact that they are a wife to the father. I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, but it's Empress Cixi, and she's regarded as like the first empress, even though technically she kind of ruled through her sons. She had her sons put on the throne and she ruled through them. Her situation's very similar to Li Shu, bar the age, but more so in the fact that concubine to an emperor that passed away went to a monastery and then was taken out of the monastery by the next emperor, who was the previous emperor's son, who then brought her in as a concubine, and then she ended up being talked about and gossiped about, but she did end up having a son. So therefore she became the empress. She went from concubine to empress because she, I think, gave him numerous sons as well, and also daughters, but she was very good at taking out the competition. She was very crafty, very wily, but there's a lot of historical misrepresentation with her because she was quite heavily demonized, because at this time they didn't like women ruling and having power. So a lot of the historical records you have to kind of take with a pinch of salt, because they are going to frame her overly negative. But it just got me thinking then, like, there's definitely similarities there. I love that I was right about them going here and gaining gossip, and that gossip is vital. And that's why Lolan is doing it. That's why she's posing as a servant. And yes, she does hide her assets and she wears loose clothing, but that's because I think whoever takes her place, and there must be more than one, they don't all have the same body type, or likely have different varying breast sizes. So the loose clothing could be a way to disguise that whoever is taking her place doesn't necessarily have the same ample assets. And that allows her disguise to go on without being discovered, because it's not as easily recognizable because the assets are hidden behind the loose clothing. But she definitely has people taking her place. She definitely is using this to gain information, most likely for her father. But I do think as well, this is a way of rebelling against her father too, that she gets an aspect of freedom that she doesn't necessarily have when she is Lolan. And it makes you wonder if Shisue is who she really is. And I've said that for a while. Shisue is who she actually is, and Lolan is the act that she puts on, the disguise that she has to wear, the mask that she hides behind because it's what her father wants, because she's obviously from a noble, affluent family. She has to not disappoint them. And I think Lolan is this mask, this disguise that she hides behind to comply and play along, but Shisue is the freedom to be who she wants to be, to engage in her hobbies and her love of insects, because it would be seen as something unladylike, something to be frowned upon, because it's not a typical hobby of a noble lady. And it's quite sad that she can't indulge in that and have the freedom to do that without having to pretend to be a servant. But she's gaining gossip for a reason. And Suiren, I'm not entirely sure. I would say Suren, but I think it might be Suiren from what I've gathered from translations, is coming in as the eunuch, but we haven't seen them beyond the very brief snippet at the beginning of this episode. But I wonder if Mao Mao will recognize her immediately, because I recognized her immediately. So I don't think Mao Mao will be fooled. I think Mao Mao's gonna clock, but it's getting really, really interesting because I knew that they would have to come back in eventually. And the fact that they are now here and they are coming back into the palace means the assassination attempts are only going to ramp up. And then Mama was talking about how like the rumors of pregnancy were already rife, which means perhaps Shisue has taken this information, given it to her father. Her father's then utilized the caravan as a way to smuggle in things that could result in miscarriages in order to undermine the emperor's dynasty as well as the Pfeiffers, which has been used in the assassination attempt towards Jinshi. But it's all kind of coming together, but at the same time, there's still so many moving pieces. This episode was just really nice because we got to see more bonding, more interaction between the girls, and Mau Mau making a new friend. I can understand why the three new servants are really sort of apprehensive with Mau Mau because they all know each other. They're all from the same region. They're all very close to Gyokyu because Gyokyu only picks people that she's close to serve her. And Mau Mau is an outsider to that. And she hasn't really made an effort with them. So they're kind of like, why does she keep disappearing? Who is this strange girl? Why is she so close to Gyokyu? We don't know really who she is. So you can kind of get why they're a bit like, does she have Gyokyu's best interests at heart? And I think Mau Mau realizes that. That's why she invited her to the bathhouse because she's like, I get it. I haven't really made an effort. I've been too busy gallivanting with my friends that maybe I should have been more actively welcoming these new servants into the household. But she's making a change, she's making a difference, but I think I'm going to leave it here. Next episode, we're going to find out more about this ghost in the bathroom that's making Li Shu not want to go in there, which is very bizarre, very strange, but yeah, I guess we'll find out more. It's most likely not a ghost, it's most likely nothing supernatural. Something that Mau Mau will uncover and find out, but nothing is coming to my mind just yet as to what it could be. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. Until next episode, bye!